have you back. If you're just joining us, you're watching Channels Television live from Lagos. A reminder of our major stories. Yet again, suspected herdsmen strike in Benue State, killing 11 persons in Tombo village in Logo local government area. Inspector General of Police raises security alert levels in Benue and River State, says more security operatives will be deployed to track the perpetrators. A large turnout of voters recorded in Delta State Council poll as violence mars the exercise in Ugeni local government area. And at least 8 migrants drowned, with 84 rescued after a dinghy sank off the coast of Libya. For more on our top stories and others, please visit our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows devices from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 app will give you access to news and updates. You also have the Eyewitness feature, with which you can share those pictures, videos or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu and follow the instructions. And here are some of the pictures you sent into our Eyewitness portal today. We begin with this one from Maguru area on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, showing a gridlock at the end of the road. Our Eyewitness reporter says that this was caused by a container that fell around Arepo axis of the road this morning. And we move on to these set of pictures from Sokoto, the Sokoto state capital, showing an overloaded vehicles. Our Eyewitness reporter says the drivers were arrested by men of the Federal Road Safety Corps, and he has asked motorists to exercise caution. Finally is this image from Lafia-Makodi Road in Nasarawa State, showing an overloaded vehicle with people sitting on it. Our Eyewitness reporter wants this discouraged because of the danger it poses. We thank you so much for sending those images in, and we ask you to keep them coming. Now let's get some perspective on the upsurge of violence attacks in different parts of the country, and I'm now being joined on the news at 10 live from our Abuja studios by a retired military officer, Major General Cecil Esakaigbe. You're welcome to the news at 10. Now, the killings in parts of the country, especially in Benue and River State in the past few days, have been unsettling. What does this say about the security arrangement in the country at the moment?
Thank you very much. The portends and luminous signs for a very bad beginning of a year. This state of trepidation that we have witnessed at the beginning of the year is frightening, and as a matter of fact, it was better captured by Speaker Dogara recently when he said that it's worrisome and unjustifiable. You see, the trajectory and the occurrence, the frequency of occurrence, are so beating imaginations of a lot of individuals. Not that as if we don't know what is going on, but we continue to allow this thing to fester. Now the question is, where are the early warning signals? Where is the intelligence gathering to be able to stem the tide? The inability and the seeming constraint of the people charged with the internal security architecture to contain this crisis have further heightened the tension for the year.
Now, if the attack in River State took security operatives off guard, isn't it out of place to say that the same thing happened again in Benue, given the tension that has occurred in the state, especially with the aftermath of the law banning open grazing? Are you satisfied with the terms of the response by security operatives?
I'm not satisfied, and there's nobody with the same mind that will say they're satisfied with this response. The most important thing is that we must start to put the finger on the scale in favor of proactiveness rather than reactiveness. The question of reacting to situations when you're not able to plug them before they happen calls for serious concern. So has caused a lot of problems, and the citizen is beginning to be wary. We are now in a state of epistantrophobia. That is fear of trust. When the citizens are not able to get the trust of the people that are out to protect them, then the cause for concern. The police is ill-equipped. The police need to be retrained, and the reaction to this crisis has to be very, very well calculated. For example, there must be a very, very correct diagnosis of the situation at hand. Without a correct diagnosis, there's not going to be any good treatment. The president deserves a correct diagnosis to be able to take decisions that will stem this stride. A situation where the chief security officer of a state has clearly stated what is happening in the state, and the police describe it as a communal feud, cause for serious concern.
But General,
we must say it the way it is
and
tell it the way it is to be able to get out of this conundrum.
General, if I may come in here, if you notice, most of these attacks took place overnight when the people are most vulnerable. In your view, what's the best form of defense against this?
There must be a systematic intelligence gathering. This calls for serious interagency cooperation among those who are in charge of the security architecture. And mostly, too, the security architecture for internal security is outdated. We must start to begin to review it, because the internal security challenges we have today have transcended that batting, water cannon, and the tear gas of the police. Because these criminals are having sophisticated weapons that demand an action. So we need deep intelligence to interpret the early warning signals that will be able to get the security agencies intact to respond in and as appropriate.
That brings me to my next question. Some other parts of Nigeria are also faced with different forms of violence. What do you foresee as the approach, especially with the elections coming up, and 2018 is a key period prior to 2019, the election time?
The phenomenon of teeming youths that are not employed, and the gainsaying of the cultist activities in various universities that have now got into the low level of mechanics and drivers call for a serious attention. So, and the police is overstretched. The number of police in this country is very, very small. The United Nations prescription is about 1 policeman to 450 people. In Nigeria, we have about one policeman to 1,850 people. So that means only about 51 million out of over 180 million people are covered by police. And more so, even the few policemen we have are in the hands of a lot of politicians and some other people who are looking at them for escort. So why don't you have to design a security architecture that involves private people who will now get involved in the position of protecting VIPs and allow the police to do their core duties? And like I said, the police have to be prepared. They need to be repackaged, they need to be retrained, they need to be equipped.
What about community policing? Where does it come in here?
That is why I suggested that there should be a total revision of the security architecture. Community policing is very, very apt at this time. If you look at what happened in Onega, in Gbema, and this in the River State, the OSPAC, that is the Onega Security Peace and Advisory Committee, were able to waylay the hoodlums of Dankwambo. They were coming to attack in Ahoda. So in many other places like Adamawa, Taraba, and other areas, they also have these native hunters that have contributed, to containing these security menaces. So this federal security architecture we're talking about is about getting the individuals, the citizenry, to be involved in the protection of their communities. So that is essence what community policing is talking about. But the police can superintend over their behavior, and the state should create enabling laws to enable them perform, and by carrying maybe some less sophisticated weapons to be able to, stem the tide. So community policing is one of those vices of security architecture that we are recommending, and it's very apt. It has happened in many other places.
Major General Cecil Esakaibe, thank you so much for speaking with us. To politics now. In Delta State, people trooped out to cast their votes for their choice candidates for the chairmanship and councillorship positions in all the 25 local government areas today. But pockets of violence in Ughelli North local government area almost marred the process, as 3 persons were injured and the office of the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission raised.
Deserted roads. That's one of the signs that an exercise is taking place. It's the local government election day. Voting will not start until election materials are distributed. And that's what's happening at the State Independent Electoral Commission's office, as supervisors receive the necessary documents for onward transmission. The hard-to-reach riverine areas are not left out of the exercise.
I like the way they attend me, everything.
Cast my votes. Luckily, when I came, the place is decongested, so straight on, credited, and then, of course, I cast my votes.
While the exercise is adjudged peaceful, pockets of violence broke out in some areas of the state. Here in Oheli North, angry youths raced the Delta State Independent Electoral Commission's office, while snatching of ballot boxes and sporadic shooting are alleged to have taken place in Oheli South.
The DSEC officer that came bought into that idea that the gunshot in the environment was too much. And it is their boys that were shooting the gun. They brought guns.
As the exercise proper gets underway, accreditation and voting is done simultaneously. And the state governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, is here at Ward 3, Owalero, Ika North East local government area, to perform his civic duty.
We have done our best to ensure a free and fair process, and we hope that we're able to get things right. I heard that some talks of the APC actually moved into were able to move into the INEC office to put fire on some of the electoral materials that I don't have the full details as of now until I'm briefed by the Commissioner of Police.
Voting over, all eyes are now on the state electoral umpire and what shape the results would take at the end of the exercise.
And still talking politics, the Northeast chapter of the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, are asking the governor, Ibrahim Dankwambo, to contest for the presidency come 2019. The Northeast chairman of CAN, Reverend Abari Kala, explains that the governor has demonstrated true leadership and is the best man for the job.
Dance and songs of praises reverberating in the Gombe State Government House as Christians put aside religious sentiments to appreciate the state government for the peace in the state. They came with gifts as well. The Christian community is obviously happy with the leadership style of Governor Ibrahim Dankwambo, and they did not mince words as they urge him to run in the 2019 presidential election.
You, His Excellency Alhaji Ibrahim Hassan Dankwambo, PhD, OON, is working out ways to solve problems of our people without ill feeling. At critical moment of our national problems, the country needs you to salvage our dear national from total economic decay. Therefore, we are up enough for Gombe State. We are praying and trusting God to take you up to the presidency from 2019, and our vote must count.
However, the governor is yet to make up his mind. What is paramount to him is the immediate task of developing the state.
One thing I guarantee you is we will continue to give priority to our people. We will continue to give priority to the welfare of our people. We will continue to prioritize security. We will continue to prioritize social services, health facilities, and things that will maintain the minimum comfort of life to ordinary person in Gombe State.
Nevertheless, the Christian leaders will not leave without saying words of prayers for the governor and for peace in the state.
When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's foreign exchange reserves climb further to over $39 billion, gains $12.9 billion in 1 year. That's on Business News. Stay with us.